I'm completely biased, but I put you as the best center the Bulls ever had.
Of course
Inside
you're
that,
biased.
what?
Of course you're biased.
Of course. Well, I think I'm not that far. But what's your take? What's your thoughts? What's your takes on that Last Dance of the documentary of what you've watched so far?
I think it's beautiful. You know, one of the best teams to ever do it.
Mhm.
So many personalities.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who's your favorite one? Jordan or Dennis?
I mean, you know, it's like you just really have to appreciate everybody for what they brought. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Mhm.
like, to me, I have a relationship with that organization. I played for that organization for 10 years, so it's like, for me, it's like the person who drafted me,
Mhm.
John Paxson. You know,
Hit that shot.
he hit 10. He scored the last 10
Yes.
to win the first chip,
Yep.
and now people are like, get him the fuck out of here.
Mhm.
It's like people forget so fast, you know, that the guy scores the last 10 points of the NBA finals so that you can win your first championship. And now you're like,
Your Paria.
now they're like, yo, fire this guy because of some decisions, 20 years later. But it's like, that's why it's very important to realize like what's important,
Mhm.
and make sure you have like, um, love around you, real love,
Yeah.
you know,
For you.
for you, and just like everything that we were talking about, but it's just, so that, I mean, it's just, those are just little things, like Dennis. I mean, fuck, Phil Jackson, what?
Mhm.
I mean, Phil Jackson, shout out to Phil Jackson. The guy like gives D Rod a week off to just in the middle of the season
Yeah. You
to
would love
just,
that. You would have loved it.
what? I mean, come
How,
on,
how
like,
different from Tibbs?
different, but also just like the way that Michael just kept it so competitive. You could just feel the energy in the practices and the videos like 20
Mhm.
years later,
Yeah.
the energies of the guys getting in fights. And it's like, all right, like getting in fights in practice, like, I've been around a lot of that stuff, but it's usually when it's the most competitive.
Yes. And
So
that's how you give the best of you.
when you have competitive practices
Mhm.
like that, where it's like, yo, you're willing to fight.
To
Like, think
yeah,
about that's what the games are supposed to look like. That's what playoff games look like.
to a certain level, to go back to our little French national team. Do you remember when you first landed? I went to pick you up in LA and we took the plane together and you had a sprained ankle. Then we flew back to France and we landed at like 3 p.m. in Pau at Boris Hotel. And the coach asked you, "Do you want to rest a little bit? Like you just traveled. Do you want to rest a little bit?" And you went like, "No, no, let's go. Let's just practice." Do you remember that first practice that you brought and how you bring everyone else up? And I don't know if you felt like that, but everyone in France from that team, from that coaching staff, Jackie, Rudy, and Coach Collet, they all remember it like it was the most unbelievable practice they ever witnessed when you came. You had you, Ronnie, Tony, everyone stepped up. Do you remember that? No,
Not
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 really.
much.
Okay, and actually went like we have to stop it, otherwise we'll never get to the European Championship healthy because you guys gonna kill each other.
I
So that
mean,
reminds me.
I think that there's something to it that's like important. It's like
Yes, that's
the
what you
most
were.
under the most underrated thing in our game is chemistry.
I thank you. And you know where I
Chemistry
put it? You know where
and
I
and
put it?
chemistry and competitive spirit.
And I
Like,
put the chemistry. I know you guys are on the floor and playing, but I put the chemistry even deeper. Staff, coaching staff, treatment staff, front office. You see it in the documentary how Jerry Crows impacted that team. How someone with a bad vibe, with a bad energy, even so it's an equipment manager. Of course, at the end of the day, you guys are the one putting the ball in the basket. But again, it's that whole chemistry, how the team and the people are all driving in the same direction.
Yeah.
And even then, it's hard to win a championship.
It's hard, and it's also hard to put, 8 years of work in a documentary.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why it's like, as beautiful, as amazing it is, I'm sure you talk to some of these guys and they look at it and they might have different perspectives on it. It's like, so it's also like, you have to look at it and understand that, just because it was portrayed like that, that doesn't mean that it was 100% like that.
You were a Knicks fan.
Yeah, for sure.
How did you live those moments? Because you were a diehard Knicks fan, John Starks, Patrick Ewing, Hockley, and the Bulls. When you were a kid, how did you live that?
I mean,
you recall? I mean,
yeah, hell yeah, I remember. I remember, the Bulls I was devastated. The Bulls used to kick the Knicks' ass all the time when it counted. It was devastating. But
the closest thing for me, like what I recall when I was a kid, I'm a little bit older than you, but that would be French soccer and French Germany against 82 when, we lost in the semifinal of the World Cup.
Yeah.
A crazy game. Devastated. That's what made me love sport.
It's crazy how sports can make you feel. It's like, people don't realize that how, like, look, I've won 2 championships in college, and like, you win, and it's like the celebration and the partying is so intense.
Yeah.
And the feeling, the euphoria is so intense.
Yeah.
That, I was depressed for 2 months after both times.
Yeah, I know.
Like, depressed, like, for real, like, yo, can't get out of bed, like,
yes.
What's wrong with me? And you're okay, now I'm 35, I understand these things, I know what I need to do.
A little bit better.
But at 19, it's like, it's hard to. And then there's also times, like, I've lost in big games where it's like, yo, I couldn't sleep for 3 days, Like, that's.
I mean, I can completely relate on my part, being part of the staff or part of a player's team. I remember going from 2009 working with DJ Mbenga. I think he played 26 seconds in the NBA final of 2009. But still, I was with my son in Orlando when they beat the Magic, and we partied like crazy. And the guy was a party animal. It was unbelievable. Then 2013, Tony, the Spurs almost winning the championship. Tony almost being the MVP, like really getting as high as you can get. You're working with a player for 5 years. He's going to get the MVP and win his 4th ring. And then Ray Allen is in the corner, and he shut it down to win the European Championship with the French team, beating Spain in the semifinal. Unbelievable party after that. And then the 2014 revanche. How do you say revanche? Rematch. Revenge against Miami, and ending up with Tony pouring Dom Perignon in your mouth in the locker room after they won the title, with the most beautiful basketball I ever seen. After that, I couldn't watch basketball for 2 years. Everything seemed so lame. So I understand that little depression after a championship. How was it to grow up the son of a professional athlete, and people only know here, they only know your dad, but you also had your grandfather. Grandfather was a professional athlete. He was the first one, soccer player, champion, won the French Cup in soccer. And how did your father and your grandfather influence your life as an athlete?
I mean,
Zachary.
Rest in peace to my grandpa.
He had such a cool vibe. Your grandfather was unbelievable.
There was a one of one. So yeah.
Yeah.
Drink
To Zachary.
Yeah, man, for real. No, special guy. Just just always wanted us to go back to Cameroon and go back to Africa, and just to have roots over there and have a land that my great grandfather lived on, and my great grandfather lived on, and my grandfather lived on it. To be able to have those kind of roots, in Cameroon, they're all buried there in the same place, same piece of land where we live. It's really special. My grandmother built a school there, so my grandparents' legacy, lives on strong over there. They have one of the best preschools in the country, and just a lot of charisma, man. A lot of charisma, Papi. And then, I mean, Dad is just, Dad's special guy. My parents divorced when I was young, but I was able to see him on the weekends, and just, I think that not only he people always love my dad, but the thing that for me that really stuck out is just just his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I was around a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So just to be around that, you just pick up on how hard it is you have to work. Like, that's the part that people don't realize, is like, being a professional athlete is not like, oh, I'm going to go train for a couple hours and then, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. A professional athlete, it's all day.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a life. It's all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
All day, every day. Like, when you go to sleep, did I work hard enough? Like, those questions every night. Like,
or someone else is working harder than me.
Yeah.
Do I match that? Am I matching that? We're both seasoned travelers. I mean, I don't know if I am a seasoned traveler, because I travel for work a lot. I travel pretty much everywhere in the world for work. But whenever I have time to travel, my favorite place, my heaven, is Tahiti. I love Tahiti. You've never been. I have to take you. And France, of course, but France is not vacation. It's not relaxing. I go there for the family. I go there for the culture. I go there because I have to, in a way. So my favorite place is really Tahiti. You made me discover Maui. I really liked Maui when I went there in Paia. I think that's where I went. That was really nice. Let's talk about you. I know you love to travel. Hawaii, Cameroon.
No, I mean, it's like those places, Cameroon, Maui, going to, these are all places where my family is. So when I travel, I haven't traveled so much for just, wow, what a beautiful place. Or I do, obviously, but not that much.
You're still working.
It's more to spend time with my family. My mother lives in Maui. My sister lives in Maui. I have family in Cameroon. I have family in France. I have family in Sweden. So it's like, I'm just blessed. I'm blessed that I was able to travel. I was blessed to be able to go to Africa as a kid once a year. And I think that just being able to go to all these different places allowed me to kind of, see cultures for what they are, and, appreciate, America different, and be able to say, you know what, this is what I like about it here. This is what I don't like, and be able to compare and be able to compare. And I think that being able to compare, that's the most important thing.
Best of both.
The best of both.
That's what I'm trying to teach the kids. I mean, obviously they have French culture and American culture. I'm like, try to take the best of both.
Exactly. And be able to be, constructively to be critical but constructively, you know, just be able to.
Yeah.
Not about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what traveling allows you to do, and I think it's important to be able to maybe sometimes you go somewhere and you say, "Shit, I'm really lucky," you know. I'm really lucky. Like I'm really blessed that I can say what I want. You know, I can.
Yeah. Can go.
Exactly. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So,
what about Brazil?
Brazil is amazing.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Did you go before Lais?
I've been to Brazil a few times before I met Lais.
I love Lais. I think she's a good fit for you, man.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. You know, I'm a very lucky guy. You know, I have a great girl. So, you know, just I was able to go to Piauí, where she's from, and meet her family and see where she's from, and she built a house out there. You know, she's a rock over there.
Like you.
For real, yeah. She got big family, so you know, just a lot of dancing, a lot of partying. You know, but you know, being able to go to her river and meet her family and just.
All I know, Joe. All I know is that I can't wait for the wedding.
Be ready, guy.
I'll bring the wine.
Be ready, guy.